welcome to the Odsal Stadium here at Bradford for the World Peers Final, the first major event in British Speedway, with 6 competitors lining up in each of the 18 races. There are 9 competing nations here this afternoon, and amongst the favourites, Denmark, Great Britain and the USA. Each heat this afternoon will consist of 3 teams and will be run over 4 laps. The points to be awarded: 5 for a win, 4 for a second, and so on down to 1 point for 5th place. And the meeting referee is Mr. Kai Christiansen from Denmark. The riders out on the track preparing for this afternoon's opening race. In this one, the 3 competing nations, Italy, Sweden and Hungary. Representing the Italians, Armando Castagna. He's riding in red, starting off the inside gate. Next to him from Sweden, as we look across, it's Per Jonsson. From Hungary, Zoltan Adorian rides in green. That's how they line up, with Italy of 1 and 4, Sweden of 2 and 5. 3 and 6 the positions for the Hungarians. The rest of the lineup: Valentino Furlanetto from Italy, he's riding in blue, starting off gate 4. Jimmy Nilsson of Sweden is off 5, and Antal Porsche from Hungary starts off the outside. Jimmy Nilsson the closest to the camera as the tapes rise, and away they go on heat number 1, jostling for positions as they go into the turn. The first rider to emerge out in front, leaving the pack, it's Jimmy Nilsson of Sweden, the early leader, and he's gone clear. In second place, we can see there the rider in white, that's Per Jonsson, also of Sweden. So a good one for the Swedes so far. But through now into second place is Castagna of Italy. The Italian sweeps through to second. That's Per Jonsson of Sweden going through in third place. So the Swedes first and third, the Italian between them. And back in fourth place from Hungary, Antal Porsche. Jimmy Nilsson's had rather a different sort of season in the British League this year, rather hit by injuries as well. Certainly the signs have been in recent weeks that he really is back on form, and he's showing it here this afternoon. Jimmy Nilsson takes the 5 points for first place, the winner of heat number 1. Second spot goes to the Italian Armando Castagna, he gets 4 points. Third place for Per Jonsson of Sweden, and finishing in 4th, Antal Porsche. Here again we can see the finish of heat number 1, a race that produced a comfortable victory for Jimmy Nilsson. We move on now to this afternoon's second race. Poland, New Zealand and West Germany in contention, with the poll starting off positions 1 and 4. Just waiting for one of their representatives to come up on the inside line. Just goes back, comes back into line. That's Roman Jankowski, in fact, who'll be starting off the inside. Here he is in the red helmet colour. Poland's number 1, a continental final qualifier this year, and represented his country in last year's World Peers as well. His partner this afternoon is Peter Fist. From New Zealand here we've got Mitch Shearer and Alan Rivet. Mitch Shearer in white, certainly one to look out for at the start of this race. And the West Germans represented by Tommy Dunker in green and Gernris in black and white. So really, Jankowski on the inside, and Shearer certainly a couple to watch out for. The tapes rise on heat number 2, and it is indeed Jankowski who gets off to a superb start from gate number 1. The pole leads them around the first turn, no problems at all. Well, quite a surprise really. The pole isn't mixed with this sort of company too often. Hasn't appeared in the British League for several seasons. He does pretty well on the European circuits, and it's Jankowski who is away. Look for the nearest challenger. Here he is in second place, that's the rider in white, Mitch Shearer. Irish Shearer back in third spot, up in second position. It's Tommy Dunker from West Germany. So it's Jankowski from Dunker, and back in third, it's Shearer. Take the yellow with 1 lap remaining on this 338-metre track. That's the battle developing up front between Dunker and Jankowski, but it's still the pole who holds on. And coming through to take second place right at the finish there from New Zealand, it was Mitch Shearer. So quite a battle developing up front in the latter stages there of heat number 2. But Jankowski wins it, second Shearer and third Dunker. And just look at the finish here again of heat number 2. It really was a close call. Jankowski out in front, but look at the battle for second place. Shearer on the outside, just edges home. And here are the riders preparing for heat number 3. And this time a chance to have a look at the USA performers. Pitted as they are here against Denmark and Great Britain. For the USA, it's Sam Ermolenko and Sean Moran. They're in red and blue. They're starting off 1 and 4. For Denmark, it's Nielsen and Gunderson. They're in white and yellow and black. Starting off positions 2 and 5. And the Great Britain lads, that's Kelvin Tatum in green, Simon Cross in black and white. They start off 3 and 6. So the Americans of the day, possibly with a better gate positions here in heat number 3. That's Hans Nielsen. The white helmet colour, starting off number 2. The reigning world champion, of course, Nielsen, and Gunderson, well fancied here this afternoon. Winners in the last 2 years of this World Peers title. The Kings will get away, the referee lets them now, the takes rides. And what a good start by the rider in white. Hans Nielsen away well. So too is Ermolenko in chase. Denmark from America. Nielsen from Ermolenko. And in third spot, it's Sean Moran. Ermolenko drifting out rather wide on the turn. Either hit a bump or made a big mistake, and it's cost him a lot of ground. But up front, Nielsen so far with no such problems. Moving comfortably now from the rider in blue, that's Sean Moran of the USA. Back in third place there going through is Kelvin Tatum of Great Britain. So it's Denmark from America from the front 3. Back there in fourth place in black and white is Simon Cross. The overseas final winner of 1988. It's the view of the world champion of 1987 and 86 as well. Hans Nielsen cruising around. The top turns coming to take the checkered flag. A victory there for Denmark, Nielsen the winner. Second from the USA, Sean Moran, and third from Great Britain, Kelvin Tatum. And here again we can see the finish of heat number 3, and quite a convincing start, certainly here by Nielsen. Rather an easy winner of heat 3. So we move on now to heat number 4, and a race here featuring the pairings from Italy, the USA and Poland. The Italian pairing in red and blue, Valentino Ferrinetto and Armando Castagna. For the USA here in white and yellow-black, it's Sean Moran and Sam Ermolenko. And the Poles appearing in green and black and white. That's Peter Svist in green and Roman Jankowski in the black and white helmet colour. So 6 in a line again at the start. And 5 points for a win, 4 for second, so 9 points, the maximum scoring for a particular country in any heat. And away they go on heat number 4. And a good start here for the rider in yellow-black. That's Sam Ermolenko, the leader, down the back straight. In second place in white is Sean Moran. Well, this is the way really to do it in pairs racing. You can win it if your partner is up there alongside you or just behind. And of course it's 9 points coming your way. That's what the Americans are hoping for here. Ermolenko and Sean Moran in close company up front. And they're rather running away with this one, the Americans. They picked up 5 points in the last race. They're looking for a maximum of 9 here. And in their wake, in third spot, it's Bernardetto, the Italian. Poland back and forth with Peter Svist. But there are the Americans really cock a hoop in this heat number 4. Ermolenko and Sean Moran together. Ermolenko goes a little wide, Moran comes up closer. And these two really have bottled up the opposition in the fourth race. Coming across the line, almost together. Ermolenko, the winner. Second, Sean Moran. And back in third from Italy, Furlanetto. And we've got Sweden, New Zealand and Great Britain represented here in heat number 5. For the Swedes, it's Jimmy Nilsson and Per Jonsson in red and blue. For New Zealand in white and yellow and black, it's Mitch Shearer and Alan Rivet. And for Great Britain, they're in the green and black and white helmet colours. It's Simon Cross and Kelvin Tatum. So across the line, we've got Jimmy Nilsson, Alan Rivet, Simon Cross, Per Jonsson, Mitch Shearer and Kelvin Tatum. All familiar figures in the British League. These 6 riders preparing for the 5th race. It's Jimmy Nilsson off the inside. And Swindon Robbins, of course, in the British League. Next to him, in yellow and black, it's Mitch Shearer, who rides for Reading. So the riders facing the tapes. Starting Marshall steps back, looking very smart this afternoon too, I must say. And away they go on heats number 5. And a good start it looks to be for the rider in black and white from Great Britain. It's Kelvin Tatum who leads them. In second place it's Mitch Shearer. Quite a battle going on here for the rider placings as well, really jockeying for the positions around that turn, with Simon Cross getting the better of things to go through to take third place. So with Tatum leading up front and Cross back in third place, this looking at the moment to be a good one for the Great Britain boys. Looking to pick up 8 points here, 5 points for a win, 4 for second, 3 for third. And this is Kelvin Tatum out in front. Just checking back, Mitch Shearer. There in green is Simon Cross and Jimmy Nilsson in the red, just showing they're back in 4th place. And the riders now on the final turn, coming home to take the checkered flag. Kelvin Tatum the winner, 2nd place Mitch Shearer, and Simon Cross comes home in 3rd place. That's a good one for Great Britain. They collect 8 points. Number 6, we've got the world champion out again. Denmark represented here by Nielsen and Gunderson. For the West Germans, it's Gerdries and Tommy Dunker. And for Hungary, riding in red and blue, Antal Korsho is in red and in blue, Zoltan Adorian. So facing the tapes here at Bradford Odsal for the 6th race of the afternoon. Starting Marshall just calling Hans Nielsen up to the line. It's the world champion who starts off the outside. Gunderson, his partner, who starts in green off gate 3. Away they go, but they rather had the bottom strand of the tape broken. So the referee will call them all back again for a restart here in heat 6. It's the red warning light. An unsatisfactory start indeed ruled by the referee, Mr. Christensen. So facing the tapes again, here we go with the restaging of Heat 6. Hungary versus West Germany and Denmark. Rather look to the outside of the starting gate. Here he is, Hans Nielsen. And what a good start he makes. Powerfully away from the gate, cutting right across the field. Nielsen leads them. Back in 2nd place, the Hungarian Korsho in the red helmet colour. And in 3rd spot in white, the West German Gerdries. It's the front 3. Nielsen from Korsho and Riss. Riss, the only West German riding in the British League at the moment, hearing for the Ipswich Witches, of course. That front, Hans Nielsen looking again a commanding figure here at Odsal this afternoon. Finish runner-up here compared to Gunderson 3 years ago when the World Final was staged here. The track really constructed for that event. Back here in 5th place is the rider in green, that's Eric Gunderson. So Denmark 1st and 5th. So it's not too brilliant for the Danes in this one. Looking to pick up 6 points. A win there then for Hans Nielsen. 2nd place, Korsho, the Hungarian. And in 3rd spot, Gerdris of West Germany. And Great Britain, Poland and Hungary, the nations represented here in heat number 7. For Britain, it's Kelvin Tatum and Simon Cross. They're in red and blue. The Poles are in white and yellow and black, represented by Roman Jankowski and Peter Svist. And the Hungarians in green and black and white have Zoltan Adorian in green and Anatol Korsho in black and white. Korsho certainly showed her well in the last race, finishing in 2nd place, surprising a few people here at Bradford this afternoon. So facing the tapes, and that's how they line up, with Great Britain off 1 and 4, Poles off 2 and 5, Hungary off 3 and 6. And Simon Cross on the inside, and his partner in red, Kelvin Tatum. Well, we look for gate number 4. Away they go on the 7th race, and a good start for the rider in red. That's Kelvin Tatum away well. But he's rather lost a lot of ground on that first turn, and moving up to 1st place, it's Jankowski now out in front. And, well, just look how close they are around the turn. My word, what a tight one, with Simon Cross now moving up to challenge, and in fact it's Cross who goes on to lead. Cross leading, Tatum back in 4th place. Up there in 2nd, the rider in white, Roman Jankowski. Tatum looking for the outside line. He was the early leader, but he lost a lot of ground. It's Cross who now shows up front. But, well, we've lost a rider there, and what a spectacular one too. And indeed, it's Korsho who's gone down in rather an untidy heat right against the start. Well, there he is, the rider who went down, and certainly he took rather a nasty one there, but he appears to be okay. So the referee stopping heat number 7 prematurely and ordering a restart as the riders come out again onto the circuit. 5 of them this time, of course, with Korsho being the rider to be excluded as the cause of the stoppage. Simon Cross showing up very well indeed when that race was stopped, having to do it again. Simon starting off the inside, gate 1. Next to him, 2, it's Jankowski. Grade 3 for the Hungarian, Adorian. And it's Tatum off gate 4. And Peter Svist from Poland in yellow-black. He starts off the outside, gate 5. So away we go here in heat number 7. So important this afternoon. It's the name of the game, the combined totals, of course. See which nation emerges as number 1 in this world final. Well, it's England away supremely well. Great Britain, really, I should say. They're racing under that banner this afternoon. And it's Tatum who leads. Cross back in 2nd place. Tatum certainly making the most of the rerun. Tatum leads. For commentary in the British League champions, of course, of 1987. Tatum really reckoned as being England's biggest hope for a world individual title. He's certainly doing well here in the restaging of the 7th, and so too is his partner Simon Cross. A lot of people a little surprised when Cross was selected. And he's repaying the confidence of Eric Bukop and Colin Pratt here in heat number 7. Tatum in front, Cross back in 2nd place, and 3rd place in green, Zoltan Adorian from Hungary. The finish then of heat number 7, what a good one for Great Britain, taking maximum points. 5 for Tatum and 4 for Cross. So we move on to the 8th race with West Germany, Sweden and USA taking part. And there in positions 1 and 4 are the West Germans. Tommy Dunker in red and Gerd Riss in the blue. For Sweden in white it's Per Jonsson and Jimmy Nielsen in yellow-black. And from the USA in green it's Sam Ermolenko, and in black and white Sean Moran. Facing the tape stand for the 8th, and away they go. And a good start for the rider in yellow-black. The first to show, Jimmy Nielsen, around the outside. Jimmy Nielsen leads it from Sean Moran, who's in 2nd place, but really a tremendous race on for 1st place between the pair of them. A couple of legs, that's all, and back in 3rd, making life interesting, as well as the West German Gerd Riss. He's facing now just a little bit along the back straight. Certainly close in the early stages. Jimmy Nielsen of Sweden looking for a win up front, pursued by Sean Moran from America, back in 2nd. Sean, of course, rides for Sheffield in the British League and has had plenty of experience here at Odsal. And back in 3rd place, Gerd Riss, there he is in blue, holding the inside line of West Germany, hotly pursued by Per Jonsson of Sweden. So the Swedes showing up pretty well in 1st and 4th places at the moment. Jonsson just unable to get through the slash 3rd, but it's Jimmy Nielsen of Sweden who wins it. 2nd, Sean Moran, and 3rd from West Germany, Gerd Riss. So the world champion from Denmark here in red, preparing for the 9th race, unbeaten so far this afternoon. He starts off the inside. 17 on his back, Hans Nielsen, just spinning around. He'll come back up into line again in a moment, facing Italy and New Zealand. The Danes with Nielsen and Gunderson then in red and blue. Italy, Castagna in white and Furlanetto in yellow-black. And representing New Zealand in green and black and white, Shearer and Rivet. The Danes, of course, based on recent performances, not just in this World Peers event, but in any world event. Really well fancied to do well this afternoon. The side, really, they all have to beat. Well, Nielsen so far has been superb, but we have to say that Gunderson, his partner, has really been a little disappointing. And unless Eric rather improves a bit, well, there may well be a chance for one of the other competing nations to carry off the top prize here this afternoon. This is the sort of event where one person cannot do it on their own. It's a team effort. So a different view of the start of heat number 9, but a familiar view there of the world champion Nielsen. Away they go on the 9th, and a good start certainly off that gate 1 for Nielsen. But Gunderson showing up also pretty well here in blue. Nielsen on the inside, Gunderson on the outside, and the pair of them pretty well together. Whereas the best race so far from Eric Gunderson really has been a bit disappointing by his own high standards. But he and Nielsen really look to be going the right way here in the 9th. Well clear. Back in 3rd, it's the rider in green from New Zealand, Mitch Shearer. If we go back to 4th place, that's where Italy's Castagna is at the moment. This is what it's really all about up front. And this is the pairing looking to carry off maximum points here in heat number 9. 5 for a win, 4 for 2nd. 9 points coming up surely for Denmark. Shearer can get nowhere near them. It's a handsome win for Denmark in the 9th. They take 9 points. Gunderson wins it, 2nd Nielsen. And Shearer of New Zealand finishes with 3 points back in 3rd. And here in heat number 10, we've got West Germany versus Great Britain versus Italy. Gerd Riss and Tommy Dunker for the West Germans. Great Britain, it's Simon Cross and Kelvin Tatum, who picked up maximum points, of course, on their last outing. And from Italy, Furlanetto and Castagna, that's their pairing. Gerd Riss in the red, starting off the inside berth. Next to him in white is Simon Cross. gate 3, we've got the rider in green, that's Furlanetto. In blue, Duncan starts off gate number 4. From 5 is Kelvin Tatum in yellow-black. Tatum, here he is, with 2 wins and a 3rd so far. Starting off the outside from Italy in black and white, it's Castagna. So Tatum with 2 wins, can he make it 3? We watch for the rider in yellow-black from gate 5. Favourite surely to win this one. Heat number 10 and away they go, and it is Kelvin who makes the early jump. Tatum leads for Great Britain. In 2nd place it's the West German Gerdris in red, and back in 3rd in white it's Simon Cross. The West German between the 2 Great Britain representatives. Tatum leads, Cross back in 3rd, and in red Gerdris from West Germany between them. Heat's really on here in heat number 10. Great Britain can again pick up maximum points. Number 16, there he is in white, Simon Cross. And he will fight to the very last lap, be sure of that. Meanwhile, the West German will do everything to keep him out. Gerdris in 3rd place. And the action hotly up in the race for 2nd. Riss on the inside in red. Watch Cross going through almost on the inside. He has done. Great Britain 1st and 2nd, and Cross left his bid right to the end, but he got through. The Danes, the Poles and the Swedes meet here in heat number 11. So once again it's Erik Gundersen and Hans Nielsen out for Denmark. Peter Svist and Roman Jankowski for Poland, and for Sweden, Jimmy Nilsson and Per Jonsson. Erik Gundersen with the red helmet colour on this time, and Hans Nielsen, his partner, appearing in the blue. So that's how it looks for heat number 11. With Nielsen starting off the inside gate 1. Next to him from Poland is the rider in white, that's Peter Svist. Close up there of the rider in blue, Hans Nielsen. With that familiar Danish body colour on, of course. And he's worn that on many occasions with such distinction. 2 wins and a 2nd so far this afternoon, and the 2nd, well, it was Gundersen who was out in front, and that was 9 points. In that particular instance for the Danes. Heat number 11, and not a particularly satisfactory start. The tape's stretched rather a bit. And the referee surely is going to call them back. He has done. The red lights come on. And the tape's looking to be a little bit slow to rise, catching 1 or 2 riders. So I'm sure the referee is going to say all 6 riders again for a restart here of heat number 11. And we can see again here how they didn't get away very cleanly at all. It was the riders off the outside, particularly Per Jonsson, rather caught up there. So coming into line again, the 3 pairings. Gundersen, Svist, Nielsen, Jankowski and Jonsson. So the rerun of heat 11. The rider in green, Jimmy Nilsson, the one the other 5 are waiting for at the moment. Jimmy Nilsson, number 4 on his back for Sweden. His partner Per Jonsson, his pairing ride in the British League, of course, for Swindon and Reading, respectively. So the lean, rather graceful figure of the world champion starts off the inside. It's the rider in blue, Nielsen. His partner in red, Gundersen, the favourites of this particular pack. And away they go, and look at the sort of start that Nielsen makes off that inside. Nielsen away supremely well, giving chase in second place, the rider in black and white, Per Jonsson of Sweden. He's going well. Jonsson up in second spot. Behind him in third in green, Jimmy Nielsen. So it's looking to be a rather better one for the Swedes than the Danes so far, because Gundersen is out of the front three. The red helmet colour of Gundersen, there it is, back in fourth place. So Denmark lead it through Hans Nielsen, but the Swedes occupying second and third places, looking to pick up good points from heat number 11. Nielsen out in front, Jonsson second, Nielsen third, and Gundersen not improving. It is fourth place. There's the checkered flag, the end of heat number 11. Nielsen from Jonsson from Nielsen. And the point situation from that race, Denmark and Sweden level pegging with 7 points apiece, showing that second and third is as good as first and fourth. So the riders now preparing for heats number 12, New Zealand, Hungary and the USA. That's Alan Rivett and Mitch Shearer for New Zealand. For Hungary, Anatol Korsho and Zoltan Adorian. And for the USA, Sean Moran and Sam Ermolenko. Here in New Zealand in positions 1 and 4. With Shearer on the inside gate 1. His partner, Alan Rivett, position 4. For Hungary, it's the rider in white, Korsho, starting off gate 2. His partner, Adorian, starting off the 5th. Off gate 5 rather, and for the USA it's the rider in green, Sean Moran, who starts off gate 3, and Sam Ermolenko is in black and white. The last two come into line. Here comes Sudden Sam, as he's known for his sudden dashes from the back. Well, we'll see what he does here, what he serves up in heat number 12. He starts off the outside gate 6. New Zealand, Hungary and the USA then in this, the 12th race. Outings for these riders, and away they go, and what a good start there for the rider in green, that's Sean Moran. But he's got his team partner up there with him as well. Looking good for America in the early stages. Sean Moran and Sam Ermolenko out in front. Sean Moran in green, Ermolenko in yellow and black on the wide outside. And these two pretty well together, and that really is the essence of pairs racing in Speedway, to stick side by side and to keep the door firmly closed on the opposition. That's the way to pick up 9 points, the most that you can get from any race. Sean Moran in green on the inside, Ermolenko happy to sit on the outside, and back in blue in third spot, Mitch Shearer really with no chance of getting through. Moran inside line. Ermolenko on the outside, and they keep it that way right to the checkered flag. A win for Ermolenko, second Moran, maximum points for the USA, and back in third, couldn't find a way through, Mitch Shearer. And we can have a look now again at the finish of heat number 12. Watch Sam Ermolenko on the outside. He gets his second win of the meeting. Sean Moran finishes in second place. So after 12 heats, we've got Great Britain out in front with 31 points. The USA second place, they've got 28. Denmark 27, Sweden 25. Then it's New Zealand on 18. West Germany have 15, Hungary 13, Italy 12. And Poland, they're in 9th place with 11 points. So we move on now to the 13th race, where it all starts to get a bit interesting. And this race is between the countries who are so far lying in 2nd, 6th and 7th positions. That's Hungary, the USA and West Germany. The USA, the top nation, of course, out of this particular threesome, with 28 points. And away we go on heat number 13. A good start here for the Americans in the shape of the rider in yellow and black. That's Sean Moran. Sean Moran leads it. But it's the rider in blue, Korsho, who's right up there in a challenging position in 2nd place. And as you can see, they've certainly put a lot of water on this track during the break that we've had. And a I rather think it's catching out some of the riders, particularly perhaps Ermolenko, who's back in third place. We rather expected something better from him. And up front, Sean Moran, looking good for the USA. Second place, Porsche of Hungary, 26-year-old, between the Americans, because it's Ermolenko who's back in third. Sean Moran really stretching out a handsome lead for himself. Ermolenko looking for the gap on the inside, but as they take the checkered flag, he doesn't quite make it. The Hungarian holds off the challenge, so it's Moran first, second Corso, third Ermolenko, but that's 8 points for America, puts them on 36, pretty well guarantees them a top 3 place. On now to heat number 14, featuring the countries who at this stage of the proceedings are lying in 1st, 5th and 9th positions. Well, Great Britain out in 1st place, so they're represented here by Kelvin Tatum and Simon Cross, appearing in red and blue. New Zealand are down in 5th position. Their representatives are Mitch Shearer and Alan Rivett. And in 9th spot, the Poles, represented by Roman Jankowski, who's had one moment of glory this afternoon, winning his first outing, and Peter Svist, his young partner, in black and white. So that's how they face the tapes. Those are the starting positions. And Great Britain, remember, in top place as we come to this race, heat 14. And the points really getting important from now on in, because the top 3 nations are going to be meeting in a grand showdown coming up in heat 18. And before that, we've got quite a lot of racing to be done. Kelvin Tatum has done his share of it so far this afternoon. Here he is in red. And the Great Britain hopes must really be high at this stage. Here on black there, we just had a glimpse of Alan Rivett, who stepped up from the National League, rides for Exeter to be here this afternoon. A late call for him. So heat number 14, the riders preparing, and away we go. A good start for the rider in white, Mitch Shearer. Well, never really can be discounted, the little New Zealander. He's popped up here with an extremely good start. Shearer leads it. Second in blue, Simon Cross for Great Britain. Back in third is Kelvin Tatum. Not too bad for the British boys if they stay in these second and third places. And back in 4th position in yellow-black is Alan Rivett. So it's looking pretty good for New Zealand, especially for Shearer. But it's not looking too bad either for Great Britain. This will suit them if they can stay in these positions. Cross isn't obviously happy to stay there, though, putting a bit of pressure on Shearer. Shearer on the outside, Cross trying his luck on the inside run. But the New Zealander with the advantage of the outside grip. Coming now to take the checkered flag. It's a win for Mitch Shearer of New Zealand. Second, Simon Cross of Great Britain. Third, Kelvin Tatum. But the British riders there taking 7 points. They've now got a total of 38. And here in heat number 15, the 3 remaining nations meet. That's the countries who at the moment are in 3rd, 4th and 8th places. After the riders from these countries have had 4 starts apiece. And the situation is that the Danes are up in 3rd place, with Sweden in 4th and Italy down in 8th position. So we've got the Danes here represented by Nielsen and Gunderson in red and blue. Sweden, well, it's Jonsson and Nilsson in white and yellow-black. And for Italy, it's Castagna and Furlanetto in green and black and white. And the Danes with positions 1 and 4 on the grid. And it's Nielsen in red, Gunderson in blue off gate 4. Sweden in yellow and black, it's Jimmy Nielsen off gate 2. His partner Jonsson in white off gate 5. Both Danes up to the tapes doing a bit of fancy footwork before the start. Just clearing a little bit of the loose shale off the track so they can get away to the smoothest possible start. Every little bit of grip so important. And the Danes, well, the defending World Peers champions. They've won it for the last 2 seasons. But they've got a bit to do here this afternoon because the British boys are going well. They are at the moment out in front on 38 points, leading the USA by 2. And the Danes certainly looking for something good from this one to stay up there with them. Neto off the outside, it's Jimmy Nielsen, or rather Paul Jonsson in white, Jonsson rather left at the back, but it's the Danes who start well. Gunderson and Nielsen pretty well clear, and they haven't finished a lap yet. Back in 3rd place is Castagna just coming through in the green. There's the Italian. The Danes looking good up front with Gunderson leading it from Nielsen. Gunderson in blue. Didn't do a lot in the early stages this afternoon, but he's coming good in the latter heats. And that is good news for Denmark, and it could just be a little bit ominous for the other countries like the USA and Great Britain, who've rather fancied their chances here this afternoon. Gunderson from Nielsen out in front. And back in 3rd in green still it's Castagna. And Jimmy Nielsen in yellow-black for Sweden is in 4th place. Nielsen quite happy to sit back and let Gunderson receive the checkered flag comfortably in 1st place. So a win for Gunderson, 2nd Nielsen, and 3rd Castagna. But the Danes take back some points. They now have 36. So we're starting to build up now to the final showdown here at Bradford Odsal. 3 races to go, and the last one certainly is going to be very interesting indeed between Denmark, the USA and Great Britain, the 3 leading nations at this stage. Denmark 36, USA 36, Great Britain 38, that's how it looks. First though, we've got heat number 16 here, a race for the 7th, 8th and 9th placed countries. And down at the bottom of the 9-country pack, West Germany, Italy and Poland. Facing the tapes in the sunshine here this Sunday afternoon. And that's how they line up. West Germany represented by Dunker in red and Riss in blue. For Italy in white it's Castagna, and in yellow and black Phil Neto. And from Poland in green, it's Jankowski. And in black and white, Peter Svist. So Tommy Dunker. Got a call up for the German squad. Just a short time ago, in the absence of Karl Meyer. Dunker at the rear of the pack as they negotiate the first turn. It's the rider in white, Castagna, who leads them. Made his first appearance here 3 years ago in the World Final. The top Italian, certainly at the moment, probably the top Italian of all time. Rides in the British League for Ipswich this season. A brief appearance as well for Kings Lynn after that World Final appearance, in which he certainly didn't disgrace himself. Popular figure over in Vauxhall these days. Castagna leads it. 2nd place is Gerd Riss, who also rides for the same British League outfit, Riss from West Germany. And back in 3rd is Peter Svist of Poland. So they're shearing out the points quite well here in heat number 16. Italy from West Germany from Poland. That's the front 3. Heat number 16 coming towards its conclusion. Could be a tie finish as well. No, Castagna closes ranks on the pursuing rider. A win for Italy, Castagna the victor. 2nd place from West Germany, Gerd Riss. And back in 3rd from Poland, Peter Svist. So the drama really now starting to build. The tension heightens as we come to the 17th. Just 1 race away now from that final showdown. This, though, is the 17th, and it's for the nations who are in 4th, 5th and 6th positions. and it features Hungary, Sweden and New Zealand. That's how they face up. The Hungarians in red and blue, Adorian and Korsho. And he's a young fellow who's really done well in blue. Korsho, there he is. He's raised a few eyebrows this afternoon, I'm sure. The Swedes here in white and yellow and black, represented by Jonsson and Nilsson. And from New Zealand, Shearer, who really has had a good afternoon. And his partner from the National League is Alan Rivet. So they're taking the time a little bit, coming up to the tapes, heat number 17. And a race here which will decide which country is going to finish in 4th place this afternoon. So that's really at stake. And that will certainly be an honour for Hungary. We expect the battle here really to be between the Swedes and the New Zealanders. We watch particularly for the rider in green. That's Mick Shearer and possibly Jimmy Nilsson in yellow and black. Let's see what sort of start they make of heat number 17. And not a particularly good start at all for the rider in yellow and black. That's Jimmy Nilsson. Bang go his chances. Failing to get away from the gate. 5 riders remain. And there is Mick Shearer out in front, just having a check back to see what's going on. Shearer leads them. In 2nd place, it's the rider in blue from Hungary, Antal Korsho. He really has taken a tremendous liking to this Bradford Odsal strip here this afternoon. And in 3rd place, the other Hungarian representative, not looking too bad either. That's Zoltan Adorian. So the riders dive under the tapes with 1 lap remaining. So New Zealand out in front in the shape of Shearer, the Hungarians in 2nd and 3rd places. And as they come off the final turn, that's indeed how they finish. A victory for Mick Shearer, and that's good enough to see New Zealand into 4th place. So we come to the final showdown here this afternoon, and it really has all built up into quite a finish. Because in this race, it's for the 1st, 2nd and 3rd nations. This is for the title of World Pairs Champions of 1988. And a race here featuring Denmark, the USA and Great Britain. The British pairing leading at this stage by a couple of points. They've got 38. The Danes and the Americans on 36. The Danes appearing here in red and blue. Nielsen, in fact, in red, Gunderson in blue. And that's Nielsen just having an early taste of the circuit before we really come to the final action. The British hopes, of course, resting on Kelvin Tatum and Simon Cross, both of them who really have performed heroically here this afternoon. And Simon Cross certainly has surprised a lot of people. Meanwhile, the hopes of the USA rest on the shoulders of Sam Ermolenko and Sean Moran. Gunderson, one of the early arrivals at the tapes. As the crowd all around us really settle back for this one. The Danes, top of the speedway tree in pretty well every aspect. And can they confirm that position with a victory here at Bradford this afternoon? They've got to come from the back if they are to do so, in the sense that they are 2 points down as we come to this decisive heat 18. This is Sam Ermolenko, who wants another little practice start before he comes up next to Nielsen. This is the rider in green, Kelvin Tatum, just circling away. And obviously the nerve ends really jangling before the start of this one. It's also important, it all really hinges on this one. World Pairs Champions of 1988. This is the race that sorts them all out. And Kelvin Tatum, by the look of the draw, has got the outside And that's not the best sort of start for Kelvin in such a decisive race. Nielsen, meanwhile, much more favoured, starts off the inside. Next to him in yellow and black is Sean Moran of the USA. Gate 3 is for the rider in black and white. That's Simon Cross of England. And gate 4 is the rider in blue, Eric Gunderson. 5 is Ermolenko, and off the outside is Tatum. The start so important, the atmosphere really electric. Here we go on heat number 18. Nielsen makes his usual good start, but off the outside, Kelvin Tatum of Great Britain really gets pushed all over the place on that first turn. And as they start now to sort themselves out, it's the riders in red and blue. That's Denmark who are out in front. Gunderson now in fact taking up the running. Nielsen happy to sit there in second place, I'm sure. Well, the Danes really look to be up against it here in this final race. They were trailing by 2 points, but they made the very best of the start. They are out in front, and once again, they're showing them all the way home. The Danes really on top at every level, and confirming that this afternoon. Fair old race for second place going on. The Americans heavily involved, so too is Simon Cross. And in fact, it's now Cross who has emerged in third place, but he won't be enough for Great Britain. Only perhaps enough to put them in the runners-up spot. A really close call for second. But it's the Danes who collect their 12th successive world title. But my word, they came within a whisker of surrendering their crown here this afternoon. Great Britain finishing in second place with the USA in third. So Denmark's stranglehold on international speedway has continued here this afternoon. Eric Gunderson and Hans Nielsen have successfully defended their World Pairs title.